Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel, Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Today I'm bringing you a deep dive into the most requested duo on this channel, Demet Özdemir and Yaman. I'll walk you through the latest whispers the timeline fans have pieced together, and the big question that won't go away: are these two preparing a private reconciliation, a professional reunion, or both? All the details are in this video. If you enjoy long-form, story-driven coverage, please hit like, subscribe, and, if you want to support us even more, click the join button below. Thank you, and let's get into it. For half a decade, Demet Özdemir and Yaman have lived at the intersection of fiction and fascination. Since their breakout as co-leads in Erkenci Kus, they've been more than actors to millions, they've been the blueprint for chemistry. The show made them household names far beyond Turkey, and it also created a unique problem. When two people become a phenomenon together, it's hard for the public to let them exist apart. That push and pull, between the work and the legend, sits at the center of everything that's happening now. Let's rewind to the root of the new wave of speculation. Not long ago, fans noticed a string of tiny coincidences. An identical song used in stories within hours of each other. A caption about trusting the process from Demet, followed days later by Can's post about not rushing what deserves patience. Neither mentioned the other. Neither tagged anyone. And yet, the timing was suspicious. Then came two nearly simultaneous posts from a late-night set, different angles, different lights, but the same coffee truck parked in the background. Was it a coincidence? The internet decided it was a clue. The second spark, the charity gala. Demet arrived first, low-key, simple makeup, a gown that photographed like satin water. She kept interviews short and fixed her answers on the cause. Support for young performers who lack access to formal training. Late into the evening, Can appeared. He skipped the carpet, entered through a side corridor, and sat at a table 2 rows behind hers. No photos together. No greeting caught on camera. But the seating chart did not lie. Someone placed them in the same room, close enough to be undeniable, far enough to be deniable. Witnesses described a telling moment. During a short film package, the audience went quiet. Demet's eyes kept to the screen, Can's gaze lowered to his hands. When the lights came up, they both rose at once to applaud. If you freeze the video at the exact second the room brightens, you can see the same instinctive half-smile on both faces, the kind that says, "We know people are watching." Maybe that's all it was. Or maybe that's how two professionals signal boundaries without words. Then came the night the fandom calls the bridge hour. After midnight, on a weekday, both were sighted on the European side, near a waterside cafe known for silence and unmarked doors. No red carpet, no entourage, just a few staffers who know how to turn heads down and eyes away. One source, someone who has worked with both actors on unrelated projects, insisted it wasn't a date. It was a summit. The description is oddly specific: tea, not coffee, one notebook on the table, a conversation marked by long pauses and small nods rather than animated gestures. If that account is true, then the night wasn't about reigniting an old romance. It was about clearing a path. A path to what? There are 3 credible theories, each with its own logic. The first is a private reconciliation. Not a public reboot for the cameras, not a parade of staged photos, but a guarded return to friendship with room to grow. This scenario fits the bridge hour energy: quiet, intentional, unhurried. It also matches Demet's recent tone in brief press moments: self-protective, light when she wants to be, firmly uninterested in indulging prying questions. For her, the lesson of the last few years seems clear: privacy isn't the absence of sharing, it's control over the rhythm of what is shared. The second theory is a professional pact. A limited series has been whispered about, 6 episodes, a single director, a premise that allows them to act together without imitating what made them famous. The pitch is rumored to center on 2 former collaborators forced to co-create under a tight deadline, with a structure that alternates between present tension and past tenderness. The draw for the audience would be obvious, but the artistic challenge would be even more compelling: How do Demet Özdemir and Yaman reinvent us without repeating them? The third theory is both simpler and braver, a boundary agreement. A decision to meet once, speak plainly, and decide, together. How to end the constant triangulation of rumor, work, and expectation. In this version, the secret pact wasn't about a comeback. It was a blueprint for avoiding collateral damage. Which events to share, which to split. What to ignore, what to deny. How to protect new relationships from the shadow of an old story that refuses to fade. All three possibilities have their supporters. Social media platforms turned into live focus groups. One camp wants love to win and doesn't care how it happens. Another values craft over romance. Give us a project that challenges them, they write, and we won't ask for anything else. A third, quieter but growing, asks for compassion over content. Their posts say the same thing in different words. These are human beings, not serialized chapters. Meanwhile, each star has been testing new lanes. Demet, who once carried shows on the electricity of her presence, has leaned into roles that ask for stillness and interiority. Her interviews have grown shorter, sharper, more selective. When she talks about work, she sounds like a producer. She uses words like tone, space, beats, and texture. The change is intentional. It's also strategic. Reinvention isn't only about new costumes. It's about teaching an audience to read you differently. Can, for his part, has been building a portfolio that straddles markets. He's learned the time zones of international fandom and the grammar of cross-border publicity. But even as he's expanded outward, you can sense a gravitational pull back to the place where his skill set makes the most sense, a character-driven story with a partner who can match his tempo, push his choices, call bluff on the easy version of a scene. Whether that partner is Demet or someone new, he seems to be looking for a project that gives him less noise and more notes. What makes this moment so volatile is that a single image could confirm any theory. A handheld video outside a studio. A mirror selfie with a familiar reflection half captured. A caption that says nothing but means everything. The internet is ready to finish the story for them. The question is whether they will let it, or whether they'll insist on turning the page themselves. There's also the matter of rules. People close to the situation describe a few non-negotiables both sides now protect. No ambush questions during work press. No leveraging nostalgia to sell anything. No stoking of fantasy with coded comments. When the internet translates silence as a coy tease, it misreads the core policy. This is not a game of breadcrumbing. It's a refusal to feed a machine that confuses access with ownership. The most persuasive evidence for a professional reunion sits in a quiet place, the overlaps in themes that attract them now. Demet talks about narratives where characters learn to tell the truth without losing their softness. Kim gravitates towards stories about competence under pressure, capable people forced to be more careful with their hearts than with their plans. Those themes pair well. They do not promise romance. They promise friction, and then alignment. There's a difference, and it's the difference between a rerun and a reinvention. So, what should fans watch for next? Not the dramatic gesture, but the disciplined one. Shared credits quietly added to databases. Sightings not at restaurants but at production offices. The telltale rhythm of gym calls at home repeated by two people at once. If a project exists, the first proof will be patience, not spectacle. And if this is simply a dignified, private détente, one meeting and a mutual promise to protect the future from the past, then that, too, is a story worth telling. In an age that monetizes exposure, choosing the unfilmed path is a form of courage. It teaches a more valuable lesson than any twist ending, that boundaries can be a bridge, not a wall. Before we close, I want to put one idea on the table for this community. If you want us to prepare a long-form episode with casting directors, coaches, and producers about how on-screen chemistry is actually built, rehearsal language, breath work, eyeline math, timing, leave a comment. We can talk about Demet Özdemir and Yaman without turning their lives into content. We can talk about the craft that made their partnership iconic, and what it would take to build something new without repeating the past. Thank you so much for watching this video and for valuing context over noise. If this approach resonates with you, please like, subscribe, and click join to support deep dive reporting. Your support lets us stay independent, take our time, and tell these stories with respect. See you in the next one. Take care, and goodbye.